Hello and good morning, everyone. I am charging my car, and it takes an hour. So I thought I would hop on real quick and make a quick video. I know I've been a little inconsistent for all three of you who partially and or watched the entire video, but that's fine. It's absolutely fine. I wanted to briefly. Well, this video is going to be fairly quick, maybe a few minutes. I know that's what I always say, and then it ends up going longer, but sometimes things come to me, and I just have to say them. But my wife and I recently went to go watch the film A Sound of Freedom. And it was very eye-opening film. It's not a huge production and whatnot. But I think the importance of the movie is the messaging that it provides. It's for those of you who maybe are hesitant to watch it due to its nature. I would still encourage you to watch it. It's not like a gruesome film. It is sensitive with children and child sex trafficking and trafficking in general. I know it's something that we all are aware happens, and I think it's one of those things that we don't really pay too much attention to. Maybe because we're afraid, or just it's a sensitive, subject, or maybe it's because we're not directly affected by it. And after watching this movie, I feel like it is everybody's responsibility as a civilization and a community to look after each other. It takes a village, and I think that's where we have all gotten lost. Is we've all decided to do our own thing, and it's not working. It's not working. It's not working for us to do our own thing. It's just not. Because what happens is we spend our life's journey alone. And I don't think that God intended for it to be that way. And we can go back and say, well, I'm never alone. I have Christ. I have, the Holy Spirit. I have, as long as He's with me, I'm fine. And absolutely. But I think God intended life to be more fulfilling in the sense of community. If God only wanted to create one human, He would have. But He didn't. He has allowed us to grow as much as we have as humanity currently is in its current state. But I don't think He ever intended for us to separate from each other. Jesus Christ was someone who brought people together through the Word, the Gospel, and the Holy Spirit is who completed that circuit in the sense of hearing the Word and feeling the Word, in my opinion. And we have gotten lost on our own journey, and we have forgotten that we need to share this journey together. And that leads me to this film. It's heartbreaking, and I will tell you, it's not, it's it's a low budget film. It was filmed 5 years ago, and they've had many hurdles to try to get it out in theaters or in the mainstream, and it's been really difficult. But they were able to get it done recently, and it is doing really well. You can get tickets for free if you don't feel like you want to pay for something like that. You go to angelstudios.com, and or just Google Angel Studios, and there's a prompt there on the website how you can get tickets for free to watch this movie. Or if you feel comfortable, you can also donate tickets for other people who maybe don't have any money to watch the movie. You can send them tickets and all that good stuff. Overall, it was a great film. I think considering the budget constraints and whatnot, it really did come out in what I would say a higher end production level. But it doesn't have a lot of, it's not an action packed film with, explosions and stuff. There's a little bit of adventure, a little bit of comedy in it, but it's not an overwhelming religious film either. I mean, it's based on God, but it's not like engulfed with it. So, if you're someone that's like, I just don't feel like going to the movies to go to church kind of a thing, it's not like that at all. There's just a few references to God, or I guess religious type references in the movie. One of the biggest things that stands out to me is was what I would call the, I don't know, trademark of the movie, or the biggest takeaway for me is the reference, not a reference, but I'm drawing a blank here on what I would call this, but it's a saying in the movie, and it's that God's children are not for sale, and that is absolutely true. They've never should have been, they shouldn't be now, and we have a duty to look after each other to avoid this in the future. There are people who are funding this type of disgusting, industry, and I hate to have to call it that, but that's what it is. It's one thing if you want to buy drugs for yourself and hurt yourself and kill yourself, or use a substance, or whether it's alcohol, drugs, consenting situations and experiences. It's your decision in that point. But when you include forcibly taking the freedom and the innocence of someone else so that you can have an experience, it's just not okay, and it shouldn't be okay with anyone. And one of the big parts is about this film, and what they kind of reference a few times is, how would you feel if it was your kid? How would you feel if you had to walk by an empty room every day? And maybe some of us already have to experience that for other reasons, and it's heartbreaking. It's terrible, and it's based on a true story. So most of it, there's very little about the film that was actually changed from the actual series of events that took place. And it really took one man and his wife, who really supported him in doing this, and he was away from home for a long time, to rescue and save like over 100 kids from Colombian sex trafficking, and it's just so terrible to think that there are people in this world that are 100% okay with, and or are are seeking this type of attention, and it's disturbing and disgusting, and those people who feel these urges need some serious help. They shouldn't be fulfilling themselves, by ruining the life of somebody else. And it's absolutely disgusting, and I can only imagine what these families go through. I pray that nobody close to me or my family ever has to experience this, but it's a reality of this world, and we have to be mindful of it. We just do. I think that we have an obligation to really just keep an eye out, keep an ear out, and listen, and really start questioning why there isn't a stronger effort to remedy this. This film shows that it didn't take much to capture and eliminate several people in this trade, in this industry, and I can only imagine how much more can be accomplished if collectively all nations came together to really put a strong emphasis towards remedying this, and potentially, for the most part, eliminating the industry. I know that there's always going to be disgusting people, and there's always going to be, unfortunately, these types of situations, but I mean, it doesn't have to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. Like, the fact that we have to call it an industry because of what it has grown to be is sickening. It's not a one-off or occasional kind of thing. It's something that happens every day, and there are people that are funding this. It's not just the weird guy sitting in his basement on the computer doing this. It's bigger than that, and we have to really put an emphasis towards collectively coming together to make a positive change in this. So I just wanted to plant that seed with those of you who watch this video. I recommend going and watching the movie. Again, it's not going to be a super entertaining, action-packed film. It's really me personally, I think I would have preferred more of a documentary type movie as opposed to this type of but I understand that this movie is about this man and these two children, among all the others that he saves, but particularly these two children, and reuniting that family through his efforts. But I would have loved to have seen a more broader educational, I don't know what to call it. Just, I would love to have I would have preferred more of a documentary type thing, and it could have still shared the same story, just more in a documentary sense, because I'm curious what really happened to the people that were arrested. I know that it led to several other children being rescued and reunited with their families, and I think that it's important, for me, it's important to learn more about, like, really what took place there, and how or if it's grown from where it was left off. So excuse me, I'm really interested in that, and that's just my preference. I would have loved to see and hear more data and statistics and how our country plays a role in this, because we can't do anything in Guatemala or Colombia, or China, or any other country, but what we can do is something here at home, and hopefully that creates a ripple effect across the world, and we can really make a big change in the future. So I'll conclude with that. Love you all. Appreciate you guys watching my videos. And God bless. Take care. I hope you all have a great weekend. It's Friday today. I got about 25 more minutes left to charge my car. Yay me. I don't hate it. I love my car. But charging is... If you don't have a charger at home, it sucks. And I don't have one at home because I live in an apartment. And the community does not have chargers yet. But I'm working on it. But other than that, love and appreciate you all. God bless. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, talk to y'all soon.